Hi there, Carmen here. I am back in the studio and I have a full body mat workout for you today. If you are new to Pilates, I will be doing some exercises that are considered more advanced. So please take care of your body, and when in doubt, leave it out. We're going to start standing up with what we call the arm series, and we sometimes use 1 pound weights. So if you have little weights, you can go grab them. I'm not going to use them, so I'll just pretend, okay? We're going to come first into a tall standing posture, and what I'm thinking about lately is this idea of a plumb line. The plumb line intersects from the top of the head to the ear to the shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, all the way down. And I am just going to see where I land in reference to that. And I don't want to sort of falsify the results by over pushing through my chest or perhaps pulling my bum in to get in alignment. Just be okay with where you are, but feel that perhaps you are starting to line up with those points in that tall posture. From here, we're going to bring our arms straight out in front of us. I'm going to choose to make fists to really work my grip strength. And we are going to go up to a 90 degrees, and we are going to do 8 bicep curls from 90. 2, 3, 4, continue on, and as you're doing this, you're feeling the back of your upper neck and shoulders, maybe widening and stretching. From here, bring your arms right out to 90 and feel that you can still see your hands in your peripheral vision. And if you need to, take an exhale to lower your arms if you're holding up in space too much. And we go 1, and really press down towards the shoulder caps to squeeze the bicep muscles. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to unfurl it all the way so we get the full extension of that arm. So feel your arms reaching side to side like pull straps T on the long box. And from there, we're going to pull into a bicep curl and extend out. Watch that you don't drop further into the elbow. So just take care of your arm joints. From here, I'm really thinking about pressing into the ground to lift my torso, my waist off the legs. All right, last one. Bring your arms now tight beside you. And we do a lot of this in Pilates, trying to bring our arms into us tight. But when we bring it in, we don't want to squeeze our shoulder blades nor tighten too much there. Just kind of be satisfied where you can do this. And then we're going to take our arms down beside us, and we're going to stretch our hands back. And then we're going to come up and squeeze. And back, roll the wrists to open. In Pilates, we do a lot of work on our wrists. So doing these wrist rolls at the bottom is really helpful. Many times, like you're in the elephant, the long stretch, push-up, anything that requires the wrist, this is great for it. All right, from here, bring your arms down to your side and relax the fingers if you have been doing my version. That feels good. The last one of the standing arm series per se is going to be the chest expansion. If you train in a studio, you may have done the standing chest expansion off the end of the Cadillac, or perhaps on the armchair, and even on the reformer. So the idea is we're trying to think about mimicking that idea. So I'll have you bring your arms forward right here, so about right there. And then as you inhale, you're going to press your arms back to widen your chest. Turn your head to one side, turn your head to the other side, turn your head center, and then with control and resistance, you're pressing those arms back. Here we go. Inhale, hold your breath, look the opposite now. So you'll switch sides, exhale. There you go. So feeling nice and jazzed up in my upper body. We're going to move down to the lower body. I said this is a full body workout. And then we're going to join all the body parts together when we go to the mat. So doing the 2x4 sequencing. If you need to have better balance, you certainly can take a hand to the wall and work through this sequence. Otherwise, for a challenge, you can bring your arms in front of you, how when we approach into the reformer or on the mat. So I feel like my arms are pressing down and I'm lifting up off my legs. My waist is lifting up. And we are first going to rise up onto our toes. And then keeping up on those balls of the toes, I'm going to widen my knees to the point where I can now stretch my feet down into that space. So it's very similar to being on the pedipole. And up and bending the knees, lengthening the tailbone, and then rising up. So you should feel like a lot of work in through the bottom of your seat, especially where the legs insert into that pelvis. Now, if you're having trouble being in this V position, I invite you to go to parallel. So I'll do parallel on the reverse. And here we go. We are going to now, and I'm going to switch my hands. We go into that stretching. It's sort of like an Achilles stretch here. Rolling up through the foot onto the toe mounds, and then standing up tall, and then stretching down. And bend, rolling through the feet, steady in the tall back, up and down. Ooh, that was a bit quick. So we're trying to make it an even rolling through those feet and until we like sort of blur the lines of what's going up and when one's going down. Right on. All right. Take a minute if you need to. Take a little water sip if you need to, but otherwise let's get right to our mat. Stand on the front of the mat like so. When you're doing Pilates, you do not need a fancy mat like I have. And in fact, I didn't even include my moon boxes. I'm imagining this is just like a mat that you have at home. You're going to take your arms again into that one on top of the other, thinking about the plumb line. So my arms are really strong from just having done a lot of that great arm series. And then also my legs and my hips are wonderfully charged and are going to be more mobile to now lower down to the mat. Once you get down, and again, you don't have to get down the way I do if that is sort of difficult on your part. You just get down to the mat the way that makes sense to you. We're going to lie out long on the mat. All right, take a stretch with your arms and then bring your arms forward and the head is going to come forward. Now, I totally love this variation of the hundreds where the legs stay down and the back is stretching. If this is what you need today, then this is what you go for. If you can and you need to have your legs bent, certainly start there and then you stretch out. Okay? And then, of course, keep pumping if you've stopped. The traditional right up and in. The hundreds is a deep breath. In and out. The pumping, if you're too low like this, it's going to really start to strain the neck. Get the pumping up higher to float you. Last one here. And bring your knees in. Give yourself a bit of a hug to counter stretch. Take your head in towards your chest to lift up and roll up to sitting. For the roll up, I'm going to sort of take us through it from a sitting to a laying down, because I'm trying to give some different, a little bit of a regression and then progressing it until we fine tune it to the actual thing. So this, I would say, is a bit more of the pre-Pilates, where we have ourselves just feeling some resistance with the legs scooping or deepening in there towards the mat, only going to where we can keep this pretty stable, and then rounding forward and stretching. And let's go through that sequence again. Rolling back. And then we reach up and over ourselves. So you continue on with that if that's in your wheelhouse, in your body. I'm going to do the full ideal roll up, I say. So the arms will come up, the head follows, then the upper ribs come around, and you're looking into yourself as the head goes towards the knees, and then we will roll down. And let's do 4 more. Last one. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time. I'll meet you all at the bottom of the mat in a long body. The next exercise that I'm going to do with you is the one leg circle or single leg circle. If you're finding a big gap here, that's pretty much your spine and the posture you're in, and that's okay, as long as you don't feel like there's so much pressure pulling up. Instead, you might want to bend your knees just to sort of take out some of the gap. Don't push your back into the mat flat. We don't teach, that's like old school. We don't teach that way anymore. We want to have the spine in good health, and it's as the spine stretches out and gets longer, that gap that we have created from our posture will become less. So I'd rather see you have a little gap than force your pelvis into a tuck, because it just tucks and the abs actually pooch rather than get long. So if you want long abs, don't tuck. From here, we're going to take our legs, so you can remain here and one leg up, or you can join me with your legs down and one leg up. We're going to give it a little stretch at the top. It springs it around and it comes back up. The part that's fun is it's the swing, but then do you have the control in your body to sort of stop it at the top? All right, reverse. So the middle is stabilizing. The arms are lengthening on the mat. The neck is relaxed. And you are thinking like you're standing in that plumb line. Other leg, when you go to lift it, try to feel like you're focused in your center to support the effort. Okay, you don't have to suck down, but just enough to support the effort, so it's not all in your front of your thigh. I mean, the thigh and the quad will work, obviously, but it's not the all. We want to do the full body. The body moves as a unit, and some parts of the unit do more than others at different times, but we're all focused and we're all one thing. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to reverse for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Marvelous. Lower it down and just feel how these Feel. Bring your knees up. Get some resistance with your arms. Some idea that you're pulling your legs to you and your legs are pulling away. Lift your head, and that will give you that forward and up action. All right? Coming into rolling like a ball, I'm going to have you gather your legs up as if you're imagining you're on the reformer in stomach massage, and that would be your foot bar here. Just think about that. And then relax your toes and gather your arms around, supporting this position. This is a great way and a good setup for the rolling like a ball. This is going to be your first inversion, so up and right back. And lift the seat and bring the seat back. And so I'm going to do this version where it's very inversion-like, suspending, for 4 of these. And then I'm going to give you a challenge where the effort is on the right back up. So it's only down a little and right back up. Only down a little and right back up. So it's like doing this. The front part of the rolling in the ball is what I'm emphasizing. Wow, that's tough. So you can play around with how you want to emphasize each exercise. That also makes the exercise more advanced, progressing it, or if you want to just use momentum and just defy gravity and feel your spine massaging, do the other one where you're suspending. So you could make this for you and your body, and it doesn't have to be about these strict ideas, but we do want to consider what Joe was asking from us, and that was to be in a ball and roll like it. Moving on to the next one is the single leg pull. I'm just going to show you for the setup what it is, in fact, for the hands, because some people get confused by this. So the ankle is the same hand as the same leg, the opposite arm is below the knee, and it pulls to track, like so. And so I'm actually feeling some beautiful stretching through here, which I need because I use my neck a lot. So we'll sit tall, we'll bring our knees back into the rolling in a ball, and then we will carry on as if we're about to roll like a ball, but we kind of have the brakes on from our center, and we get into the single leg pull, and we'll pull once and switch, and 2 and pull, 3, pull. The effort remains in the strong middle. The legs stay connected energetically to the middle. So make sure your legs are only lowering to where they're still part of your middle. Bring the knees in, rest your head. I'll give you a little break there, because if you don't train this quite consistently, you might be starting to get pretty tight in here. So just give you a little break, no problem. Roll back up into this idea of the double leg stretch. So if you're tucking off, I want to encourage you to get that body to reach down, and then pull your legs in using your arm strength. This is your arm series right here. Pull. Now we're going to stretch out like it is in the return to life, and then come in so that you feel the buoyancy. Okay, it's not this big tug of the arms behind you. Now we're going to take it into some arms up and then around. And by my ears is my first idea. And if I want to push this more, I can. And sit up. Great. So I'm not doing the whole, of course, mat. There's lots more in that stomach series. We're going to travel into the stomach, my God, spine stretch forward. There we go. I named every S exercise for you. So legs are reaching long, feeling like you can get upright. Hands can be either here. This is where I really love to train this for my body. Some people find it's too tight here, so I free them up and I say, you know, just bring your arms up like so. Okay? So here we go. We are going to exhale on the effort. Inhale up, which is still effort. But if you're first learning, it kind of makes a little more sense to let out on the valve and exhale to deepen. So, but just for fun, let's change the breath pattern. So, inhale and exhale. And just notice the quality of your body. Does it force you kind of to hold your breath when you're trying to inhale on some work forward? So try playing with your breath on that. All right. From here, we're going to go into a little bit more of an advanced exercise. And so if this is not in your body, you can throw some rolling like a ball in at this point. Otherwise, we are going to practice the open leg rocker. And we are going to balance on behind our sit bones slightly, just like that stomach massage idea on the reformer, lifting one leg and down and lift the other leg. And now lift both legs. And the thing I want you to be is okay with where you put your hands, because now we're going to roll. And then we're going to come up. And so try to be okay with where you put your hands and figure out how your hands connect to your arms into your back. That helps to get you back and then back up. And then our legs are connected into our pelvis and it lifts from the seat, and even the toes could give you some effort. They go back and up. Great. From here, bring your legs together. You can tuck in and roll down carefully. When you lie here, reach your legs up to this 90 degrees. This is a mini corkscrew, basic, like tiny, tiny little one, not the full thing. You're going to go over to the right and then bring it around center, left. So this is also kind of like rolling in and out, or the hip rolls on the spine corrector, except our knees are bent. You know, Joe's work, if you practice long enough, you can start to make the connections around the room. All right. And then from here, you're going to sit up and reach your legs out to the sides for the saw. Arms are going to come out to the sides, sitting up tall. As you go across, this arm quickly makes it over to that side, and it's like you're doing a roll up on one leg. Sit tall, come to the center, and you roll forward, 2, 3. Those are not really bounces, more like I am just trying to deepen my spine more. All right. The hands are reaching in oppositions of one another. And up. Wonderful. Bring your legs together. Turn over onto your stomach. And we will do like a basic swan. So if you do have these handles, you know, you could be up here a little bit more. If you're on your mat, you're just going to go where your hands feel like they could do something on the mat, but not a lot. So if you're up like this, take a moment. See if you can settle that down. You might even need to rest your head just to get that tension out from up here. I mean, I use my head a lot, more than I like to admit, instead of using my upper back. And then as we go forward, eyes looking down the mat to the front. And we're just going to hold this for 1, 2, 3, and come down. Great. If you've noticed my breathing, I sort of like to use the inhale to get lofty. So it was a little bit opposite to the spine stretch. Round your back, counter stretch. Reach out with your arms, but have enough from the center to pull you through and up. So you feel this really much more of a slope up, more arch than the basic swan. And we're going to kick the leg twice on each side to get the quad, the front of the thigh, to have that stretch. Thigh stretch shows up a lot in Pilates around the room. This idea of where we're really trying to open the front of our thighs. It's really connected to a weak stomach when we have really tight fronts of our thighs. So if you sit a lot or you do a lot of work where you're really grinding through the quads, you're probably going to miss connecting your abdominals. So just consider that. Bring your hands to about right here and round up. Use your center to help you lift, and you can reach back to your heels. Keep your head maybe slightly on the ground. There's another exercise we call the crab. So this is kind of a little mini one. And then sit up. Now this exercise comes from my teacher Jay, which I'm so blessed to have him tell me about it because I didn't know. And he saw this happening working with Joe. But we're going to put it in here. It's called the thigh stretch. So it's not in return to life traditionally, but I love it because I just said when we have tight thighs, we got a weak gut. So why don't we really get working and opening those thighs? Like the chest expansion exercise we did earlier where the hands were here. It's the same kind of idea. And now we will just bring them up a little more. So you're feeling like if you had a rollback bar here, you could press down to lift up off of those thighs, and then we're going to stretch and return. Now we're trying to keep our body in that tall posture from the crown of the head almost going through to the kneecaps. Yes, my shins are really pressing down in the mat. I'm pushing to lift. And up. Wow, that was awesome, but hard. Turn over to face forward. I'm going to skip the neck pull. If the neck pull's in your practice, throw it in now. But we're going to, and jackknife, but we're going to skip all the way to the spine twist. Arms out in front. Little bit different than the saw or the spine stretch. Now we really bring them together. And this is very reminiscent of our stomach massage when we're doing the twist. I think the big difference is our feet are pushing on that foot bar. But imagine if your heels were on that foot bar. There is this little sort of spring action here in the body that kind of feels like it gives a little bit of a boing, boing kind of idea. And that's coming from inside my center in this area. And the arms are sort of assisting with the pressure through the springing. All right, great. Lying on your side for the side kick series. Bring your legs to the front of your mat if you need to balance, and your body would be back here. I like to start to talk to my clients about just finding the right prepping of the body. So the legs are stacked, of course, and if you find that you're too wobbly, like on your hips, feel free to bring this knee forward, okay? That's a great choice. And then you work your way back to this as you get stronger and more stable in your full body. We're just gonna lift the leg up to the hip height right there, reach through the toe. We're gonna kick forward and bring it back. For one, we're gonna do 8 of these, okay? And as I'm going through the motion, I'm not zoning out. I'm thinking about what is working too much in my body and what is working too less, and can the less and the more meet each other and be a balanced full body unit, doing a very graceful, coordinated, concentrated movement. That'll bring us to our last one. And now we're gonna kick up, and it's a quick down with the heel reaching. Toe reaches up, heel reaches down. So we're getting our thigh beats, our coordination legs, backstroke legs, all the stuff where we have to do a quick open and close and be snappy about it. There it brings to 8. Bring the leg back in space. Feel like you are doing the one leg back in elephant, except we're not round in this part, but it's the reaching back and being able to really focus on this area to hold that leg up and reverse. This has a quicker tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! All right, lying on your stomach, stretch out the pelvis. Let it just feel good there. And if you don't need to do that, you go and you don't do that, you take that out and you keep going right into the next one. Now I'm choosing to do 8 repetitions because I'm, omitting the big circles. But usually when I have my big circles in there, I'm gonna keep it to 5, all right? So we'll do 8 repetitions here of the front and the back. And I want you to think about a double kick. So go as far as you can and a little further. And then the next time you train these, you can add that double kick or that spring action. The spring comes from the middle, helping to pull that leg forward. And that brings us to 8. And up and heel down. Up, heel down. Coordination when you're on the reformer and you open, close the legs. That's the idea of being snappy with that. And reach the leg back. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax. So I'm pushing it at 8 repetitions. Definitely, you do not have to do the 8, do the 5, do 3, do 1, and then build it up. We're gonna go into the teaser 1, and I'm going to approach it like Joe did in his book, where he's sitting up, if I recall, and he rolls back to lift the legs to find the teaser. So if you cannot do the teaser, just practice this. This is a good drill, just to feel that in and up. Now, it is different than being up in a V, okay? I want to make that distinction, okay? So when you're rolling back, it's like the legs are the sweet spot that, you find that sweet spot that you could just bring those legs up with not a lot of taxation in this area. I mean, of course there's going to be some. Once you're there, you're going to lower your back down, stretch your head to the mat, arms first, head, ribs lift up in the chest. For 1, we're going to reverse the film here. 2, 3, and everything down. Wow. If you made it through those, congratulations. That's awesome. And anything that is not in your power, in your body yet, just leave it out. Just keep practicing. You may do a teaser one day, or you may not. The world will still spin, right? Carmen didn't do her teaser, but it'll be okay. Now we're going to go into the seal. So the seal has us in that nice rolling like a ball. It's very simple. He has us here in his book, and then he says, put your arms between, kind of grapevine them in there. And there's enough tension through the arms, like the magic circle. Think about the magic circle. The legs are the magic circle, and you're pushing your legs in towards your arms as the arms are resisting out. So it's creating this really nice open back. 1, 2, 3 claps for the seal. We'll go over, hang for a bit. 1, 2, 3, and come up. Oh my gosh, I flubbed on camera. Oh well. Ugh. This life. I'm not editing that out. Actually, I don't edit. I don't know how to. I just run with it and hope to God it works out. 2, 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Last one. Lift the tush and then press and pull the feet down. Cross the feet, stand up, turn around. For the push-up, today we will do 3 sets. You can do all of them with me, none of them with me, some of them with me. You make your choice, okay? I will talk you through the idea of getting into the push-up, and well, let's go. Arms straight up. I'm thinking about that plumb line, even though my arms are above my head. I'm going to do the wall exercise in my mind. I'm reminiscing about that. It's peeling down off the wall towards my feet. Palms are trying to go as close as possible to the feet. So that's a goal. But if you need to bend, that's totally cool. Walking out, 1, 2, 3. The 4th hand is when you're out there beside the other one. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 push-ups here. Press through the hands. As you release one hand and you place it, that's when you're going to force your heels down in tendon stretch. And you pull yourself back in. It's that kind of effort of pulling in back to where you were. And you're up here, circle the arms down, peel off the wall, hands in front, walking out. This time change which hand you led with. 1, 2, 3, get there. 5 push-ups here. We are leaning forward, almost like a planche, not down. Elbows go back, opens the chest. Last 2, last 1. Round, bring it back. Whoa, see? I did not concentrate for a second and off I went. And up we go. Good. And for the last fun one, we're going to come forward and we're going to do kind of like this elephant walk. So you're going to walk your hands forward a bit, like you're in the elephant on the reformer. And then you're going to try and lift the legs straight into you. Straight into you. Right into you. Until you could get your elephant legs right underneath you. And now you're going to lift up and just let's do some of those pendulum arm circles. Let your head hang, please. Getting the blood to hang down to our head is really good. to get it down there. And then we're going to roll up. Try and focus into your body so you don't get dizzy. Upright yourself and take a moment here to feel if you feel very aligned and tall. You don't have to be perfect within that plumb line. And then just thank your body for being what it is to carry you through that workout. Well, there you go. I hope that's a good little video for you. Do this when you're not in the studio or when your teacher goes on vacation. It'll take you through those dry spells when you can't get into the studio. See you next time. Bye now.